Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 31 of Minecraft Stoneblock. I'm Mark, and I am cold today. It is in the single digits outside, and I just got finished clearing my sidewalk and driveway of the snow we got. So I'm going to stay inside for the rest of the day and play some Minecraft. I am over in the mining dimension, and there have been some changes here, as you can see. And I'm going to start at the simplest one, which is the Void Resource Miner. The Void Resource Miner gives us a bunch of random sort of stone blocks of different kinds, including basic stone, which none of this is stuff we really need. I mean, the terracotta is nice because we can decorate with it. The main thing I wanted to get out of this was, where is it? There it is mica. And mica is useful for environmental tech for making modifiers for our miners. And the main miner upgrade that I want to get made, if you will, is replacing these null modifiers with speed upgrades. Because the void ore miners, they're not fast. In fact, they're the opposite of fast. As you can see, that's just producing a very, very small amount of resources per cycle. And I have upgraded both of these to tier 3. So we're starting to get the next level of crystal, which I don't remember what it's called. Palladium or something like that. Let me see if I can spot it in here. Palladium. I was right. It is Palladium, so that'll give us our tier 4. But as you can see, these have been running for a couple hours and we only have 10 crystals. So I want to speed these up. So that is the reason that resource miner is running, and we've got, I don't know, 10 blocks of mica I think in there, which is enough to make a couple speed upgrades. That's just crafting, and well, I don't know. I guess we can go ahead and do it. Let's see, where was that mica? Oh, we have 30 blocks. That is quite a bit, actually. So speed, upgrade, it's not upgrade, modifier. Let's see if we have what we need to make this. We need Lonstalite and Erodium and null modifiers. So the first thing we need to make is the null modifiers. And I'm going to make, I don't know, let's make 8 of these. And we should be able to just make this. Yep. And then the speed modifiers. Again, we should just be able to make these. What do you not find? Do you not just... There we go. So we have 8 of those. And putting these in is as simple as just, this is going to break the miner for a minute, but that's okay. Because when we put the speed modifier in, it's going to speed up the miner, but it's also going to increase its power consumption. And there's some funkiness with these running when they have infinite amount of power available, so I will probably need to find my assembler and reset some speed settings. So let's see, this now wants 5,000 RF per tick. Let's just call it 5,000. And these have a transfer limit set, so I'm going to go ahead and bump this to 5,000. And let's just see how fast this is running. That's considerably faster. So I'm going to do that over on the other side too. So we have 2 of these running. I did upgrade this one. That one looks... I'm dumb. So I did actually, I think, I could have sworn I made 2 tier 3s. I did. Okay. So I made the other tier 3 void ore miner, and I don't know if I made all the structure I guess I didn't make all the structure frames I need. I could have sworn I made everything I needed for that and upgraded it. Oh well. So we have one tier 3 and one tier 2 running. But this one can also take 4 upgrades, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I will upgrade this between episodes. I am a bit confused because I could have sworn I did, but oh well. And we'll have to do the same thing here. We're going to have to adjust the power. This one's 3619, so let's go ahead and adjust this to 3619. And now this should be running much faster too. It's not going to run as fast as the other one because it's a lower tier void ore miner, but it'll be fairly fast. So let me throw that in there. Let me put the assembler away. And I have a couple other things to do. So you probably notice this platform sitting in the middle of everything. And I've decided that since we're on a quest to get a bunch of resources to feed into our EMC generation, I have set up a bunch of processing to take everything that comes out of our void ore miners and turn it into something useful. So down below here is a pipe that feeds into this chest, and this chest takes all these raw materials and runs them over into this fully upgraded array of pulverizers, which is way overkill. And there is a sag mill and an enrichment chamber from Mechanism over here, just to deal with some materials that the pulverizers give us a less optimal result from. So all the output from that stuff goes into this chest, and mostly we're going to see it's gems and shards and pulverized metals, and that exports everything out this side into redstone furnaces. Again, these are all fully upgraded, so it's way overkill at the moment. And then those pipe everything up to the third chest on the top, which is taking all our sort of ingots and such and piping them out to this chest. So this chest then pipes it into a ender chest, which ends up pushing everything down into our main storage area. So all this resource is getting processed, and I do have these chests here just so I can check them. There are a couple things like that get filtered out before they get processed, just because we don't need to really process them any further. They don't need to go through the furnaces, or the crystals that show up don't need any processing. So that stuff just comes straight out this pipe and into the chest. So that takes care of all our processing from our miners. And our resource miner is just pumping everything into a crate because I don't really care about most of that stuff. Eventually I might pipe it into something that'll make use of it and store just the stuff we need, which is at this point just the mica. The next thing I wanted to accomplish today is to start working on what we need for our transmutation tablet. And we look at this, we can do condensers. We could basically do the two outside rings. We can do everything there. We could do everything in here. We have a transmutation table. So really it's this ring that is the problem. And the Gaia Spirit ingots are what I want to accomplish today. Gaia Spirit ingots are made from Gaia Spirits and Terra Steel, and they have no EMC. Terra Steel does, so I'm going to make some Terra Steel. We have plenty of mana, and I just want to make sure. Let me go ahead and grab some coal. I'm just going to stick a couple blocks of coal in here. So we have some. Yeah, we need to refill our mana pools. So to make Terra Steel, what you do is you drop, and you can't see it, but they're invisible at the moment. There are sparks on top of these two mana pools and the Terra Steel agglomeration plate, which is feeding the mana into this. So what we do is we drop 1 mana steel, 1 mana pearl and 1 mana diamond onto this, and it sucks down a whole bunch of mana. And it makes 1 Terra Steel. And when I mean a whole bunch of mana, that was like half a pull from each of those pulls. So it is a lot. I'm going to go ahead and make another one. And I'm going to stick this one off to the side because I don't want to use that because it has EMC, so we can just EMC these in the future. But I need one of these to summon the Gaia Spirit. So we'll grab that. We'll stick this on our bar. We are going to be able to kill the Gaia Spirit no problem. So, we have our Draconium armor. We have a decent, it's decent, it's not super sword. I could pull out the crossbow, but I don't think we need it. And I've set up the Gaia Ritual site out here. The Gaia Spirit is a Botania boss fight. You basically build a beacon from vanilla Minecraft, and you put these Gaia pylons around the outside. And if we look at Gaia pylon, the Gaia pylon you make from pixie dust and elementium ingots, which is Elven Trade. 2 mana steel gives us 1 elementium. And a mana pylon, which you make with some mana steel, gold, and diamonds. And that's how you make the pylons. You place them all out in a specific pattern, which you can see with the visualization from the Lexica Botania. And you're ready to fight the Gaia Spirit. And this is a 2-stage fight, unless you have, super uber weapons that can one-shot the spirit, which we don't. You shift right-click on the beacon to sacrifice your Terra Steel. And we get some music. And we get the Guardian. And the Guardian teleports around. And we run around and kill it. And you are stuck in this arena area. And you can see we're doing pretty good damage to it. We're not killing it instantly, but the main problem is it teleports and it negates flying. I think it must use like the Enderman AI because it always teleports behind you. And then it goes invulnerable and flies up in the air. And it brings along a bunch of friends, which we can just kill. Come here. These guys can't even... Yeah, the skeletons are a little annoying because they get stuck outside the ring. Come here, witch. I think the Guardian is back. Yep. Let's focus on the Guardian. Ah, you're so fast. There we go. We got him. Let's finish off these last skeletons. And that is the end of the Gaia Guardian fight. And I think we picked everything up. We got a couple random items there. Alright, and what we get from the Guardian fight is we get some Gaia Spirits. And that's what we need to make our ingots. And unfortunately, we need to do this twice. I'm not going to do that because you've seen it before. There's no need to repeat that. But that's how we get our Gaia ingots, which we need for our transmutation tablet. And that gives us everything we need except for infinity ingots. And infinity ingots are the next step, which means we need to start working on the infinity catalyst. And the infinity catalyst, what I want to work on today is getting these singularities started. The singularities are basically, you take a block, you feed it into the Neutronium collector compressor, and you get a flux singularity. And the Neutronium collector, the Neutronium compressor is not awful to make, so I'm going to go gather what we need for this and then figure out where I want to set these up and get that process started. So back in a minute. Okay, I am over at our extreme crafting table, and I have basically just run around and gathered all the stuff we need. This isn't a super terrible recipe. We do need to make more of these because I thought this had EMC, but it doesn't. So we can go ahead and make one of these. And I'm going to set this up over in our over by our power sphere. However, before I do that, I just wanted to quickly show you a couple changes down here. I have been going around, and I turn these drawers on. I've been going around and sort of reorganizing the drawers. Basically, anything without EMC is going in the top 2 rows of the 2x2 drawers, and I haven't finished this side yet, but over here you can see that's all stuff without EMC, and those drawers all have void upgrades on them because we don't care about the excess stuff. But down below, all this stuff has EMC, and these drawers are all don't have void upgrades, and that is so when stuff hits our input chests, instead of just getting voided in here, it's going to get voided out through these chests, and these chests all go to our EMC system and give us more EMC. So that is the overall strategy. I'm not sitting around and doing all this on camera because it's really tedious to take these drawers and figure out what goes where, and you break them and you move them out of the array so they don't get flooded with useless stuff, and it's just time consuming. So I'm doing a couple a day, and I'm not going to say anything else about it. That's sort of the overall strategy I'm pursuing, but I wanted to show you what was going on here. So let's head over to our site for our Neutronium collector. And there's a minor change over here. Rather than have a trash can at every single chest that is outputting to our EMC input, I moved this. Oh, that's interesting. I moved this chest here to catch. I wonder where we're getting those. Wow, who's making industrial craft blocks? That's bad. I'll have to check that. This is all the stuff without EMC that's showing up here. And rather than try and catch that everywhere we're putting input into this chest, I'm just going to put it here and put one trash can here to get rid of all this junk. And clearly I need to do that soon because we're getting a bunch of junk. I don't know where these blocks came from though, so I'm going to have to look into that and figure out where we got industrial craft stuff. That's like an OR dictionary issue that I'll have to fix. So that's what's going on here. But what I want to do is, before I forget, I want to put my TerraSteel ingot in here so we can make TerraSteel as often as we like. And we have the crystal matrix ingot in here. I may as well stick some of these in here. You don't have EMC, but you do. And I already put you in. So I'm not even sure how this thing works. But I think what I can do is put this down. And if I give it a bunch of iron, yeah, it's just going to start pumping that iron in to create a singularity. And I guess it doesn't take ingots, so let me check that real Will it take ingots? Will it take a bunch of ingots instead? No, it won't. Okay, so we have to actually turn our iron into blocks and pump it in there. And there's a couple ways to do that, and the way I'm going to do it is, first I'm going to get this stuff out of my inventory because I don't need it right now. I am going to pipe out of this chest and into our Neutronium compressor. Do you keep your inventory if I break you? You do not. So I want to figure out a sort of layout here that I can use, because I want to set up a few of these. I don't necessarily want to set up all of the ones we need, because we need, what, 10? 13 all told. I don't want to set up 13 of these necessarily, but I do want to set up a bunch and sort of run them in parallel. So I think what I want to do is fix this closer to the source, because that's going to change or help another issue we're having, which is our ender chest network is getting flooded, and it's going to have a hard time keeping up, especially if we continue to upgrade our void ore miners. In particular, I want to... this is our input from our roost, and that's completely under control right now, but if I go up to our roost and turn on our watch of flowing time, and we look in this chest, it gets a little more hectic. So what I want to do is intercept anything here that can be compressed before it reaches our ender chest, and turn it into blocks. And I want to do that, I thought, with the auto compressor from Compressum, and I'm wondering if this is what caused our problem. So I'm going to have to test this, because I had done a quick test with this before, and I thought, oh, it's going to do exactly what I want it to do. So let's grab some copper. We know that we got the wrong copper blocks from somewhere. I just want to see if this is the source. Oh, and it is. Okay. So this is not going to be the best block to do this with. Unless I put an ore dictionary. There is a block that converts items to a different ore dictionary, and it does it automatically. I don't know if I want to do that or not. I think what I want to do is find a different way to make blocks. Because my idea is I basically want to take all the output coming from up there, run it through this, and then run the output of this into our ender chest, which means that we'll be pushing blocks through instead of pushing individual ingots and nuggets and things like that. So it'll just reduce the load on our ender chest network, and we can do that everywhere we're producing ingots. So should speed up everything globally. So let me poke around for a couple minutes and find a better way to compress blocks, because this is not going to do what I want it to do. And are you going to uncompress into something useful? I'll see you uncompress to thermal foundation. Well, that is unfortunate, because this is a really handy way to do it. The auto compressor from Compressum does a good job, and it's relatively low power. So let me poke around, and I'll be back in a minute. Well, I thought the crafter from RF Tools was going to work, but the crafter from RF Tools has a similar problem. It actually creates mechanism blocks, which at least they have EMC, but That's not going to work well with our storage drawer system. So that's not a solution. Let me see what else I can find. Okay, it looks like the factorizer from thermal expansion is going to be our block of choice. Which takes power, and power's not a big deal. And we'll have to upgrade this to manage the to make it fast enough. But that will take care of our problem. Oh, there is another solution to this, and I'm being dumb for not doing it. I'm thinking I can do a storage compacting drawer. Yeah, I could just use a compacting drawer. That means I'm going to have to basically set up a mini drawer system to do this, and I'm not sure if that's really worth the effort. Well, we're going to have to do it no matter what, because we need to do this to handle our neutron compressor. I'm gonna leave the flow problem for now. I'm gonna go ahead and get the neutron compressor, Neutronium compressor set up, and deal with that first. So I'm gonna move this a bit. If I stick this, no, I don't want the crafter. What I want is the drawer. Not the best layout here. I want the storage drawer, and then I want the compressor next to it. But I want the compressor in a location that I can actually run some cables. So I need some item filters, and I don't have any basic item filters. Let me make a couple. And I want some iron, and I'm going to do iron first just because we have a lot of iron. Proof of concept. Oops, I didn't mean to throw those. So what we want to do is we want to set that to iron and grab one more iron ingot. And we take this item filter, and you're only accepting bars. And we take this item filter, and you're only accepting blocks. And I should have some item conduits here. Maybe? Nope. In here, maybe? Yeah. So I put a conduit on this, and we're going to put the this filter on the extract side, make you always active. Your insert. So any iron blocks in there are going to get dumped into here. And then we don't want to do that there. What we want to do is put a input filter, and this is filtering our iron in, and we want to set this to a priority of 10. And we actually want to run this off the same. This is priority 5, and this is priority 0. So if we connect this up to, this is really ugly, but it will get the job done. If we connect that up like that, and we put this as insert, any iron that hits this chest should get dumped. And that does have a speed upgrade. So let's see if we're getting iron in here. We are. And we're not getting iron into here. Do you not accept your extract always active, and you're extracting iron, your insert, and great. You do not accept inputs, I guess. Let's see if it's just a side issue. We can do this. Maybe it's just a siding thing. I'm going to throw it there. I don't want to cover that. That's a painted glowstone. Extract always active, and we're extracting iron blocks, and we are inserting into you. You do not accept inputs from pipes. That's unfortunate. How about from the top? Let me poke around and see if I can figure out how to connect this up, because I want to finish this before we go today. Okay, we are in business. All I had to do was cable this to the top. So changing this up is actually going to be pretty easy to accomplish. I actually don't need this filter. Oh, I do need that filter there because it's going to keep it from exporting things other than blocks. But I don't need any speed upgrades or anything because this filling is limited by how much iron we're getting here. And we're getting a fair amount of iron. Oh, that's aluminum. There's iron. But as you can see from this, 177, 180 out of 1,200 or 12,000. This is going to take a while. So I may or may not set up more of these to just go ahead and process other things in parallel. But that's the basic idea. I'm probably going to rearrange this because this is really ugly. But that will eventually get us all the singularities we need for our infinity ingot. And the other things we need for infinity ingot, or infinity catalysts, I should say. We can make blocks of inderium and steel and dark steel. The Endus Pearl is relatively easy. That's just a bunch of materials, which we have. The record fragment we can get easily. So next time I'm going to start working on the ultimate stew and on the cosmic meatballs. And most of this will be pretty easy to get. I think we have all the meat we need except possibly fish. But we can get all those. This will be a little more time consuming because we're going to have to, we have plenty of epic bacon, but we will have to figure out how to get all these plants and put them all together. So until next time, this is Mark signing off. I hope you enjoyed what you saw today. We did make some progress, even though it was not as much as I wanted. Next time, hopefully, we'll be one step closer to Infinity Catalyst. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.